Okay, sorry. Something wrong with my computer. Just the screen just disappeared. Okay, Gokseng again. Please unmute your microphone.
Okay. Yeah.
So your plan is to quit working. So once you quit working, you want to practice full time. And only do things that is essential. Other than that, you want to focus on being alone and doing your practice. Try to cut off all the socializing activities, except if you really have to, But otherwise, it's better just to be alone and practice meditation, mindfulness, and studying Dhamma teaching or contemplating on the Four Noble Truths and the three characteristics of existence, these sort of things. That's why you want to concentrate your time, your waking hour, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Most importantly is to train yourself in mindfulness. Stay mindful, stop thinking. And if you have to think, only think of what is essential. Otherwise, just stop it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Let me go back to Nimi. Hi, Nimi.
Yeah, Ajahn, I want to ask a question, Ajahn.
Where are you from? Sri Lanka?
I'm from Sri Lanka.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Ajahn, when I do meditation, breath meditation, and when after a while, I feel very calm and my mind becomes still, and then suddenly a thought comes. Then what do we do? You see whether it's anicca, dukkha, anatta.
You stop it. It's just like before. Just stop it. Don't let. This is not the time to contemplate or to do anything. Just you want to stop the thought and just to empty your mind. And all you want to do is just to be merely knowing. If you can stop your thought, then stop it. If you cannot, then you have to use a mantra or something to replace it. But don't think, because when you start thinking, your mind will start to become active again and will not be calm. When you're meditating, you want to calm your mind, want to make it to become still for as long as possible. Because the stillness of the mind brings you peace and happiness and equanimity.
Thank you, Ajahn.
You can think later on when you come out of your meditation, if you want to contemplate on the truth of anicca, dukkha, anatta, you can do that afterwards. But
then Ajahn,
go ahead.
Ajahn, then if that happens, then can you get back to your breath meditation, anchor it there?
That's right. You can do that, or you can use a mantra. Whichever one it is, that will stop you from thinking.
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you.
Is that all for you today?
For the time being, yes. Later, maybe.
Okay, fine. Let me say hello to Sajal Khan from Silver Spring, Maryland. Hi, Sajal.
Good morning, Ajahn. I have a clarification. So I'm reading your books and recently My Story Sent by Jupe and my dislike of other people's behavior is actually not anything to do with them, but it's more like my way of liking and disliking of something which is changeable. So that means it's actually, if I say so, it's actually my problem, really, that I am actually expecting them to be in a certain way so that I can like them. And they do something that I dislike, then I'm kind of distancing from them. That is something, so I have actually applied that and it works very nicely. But there are times when I completely forget about that and react. But is this part of developing mindfulness, or is it part of developing wisdom?
Wisdom. You want to get rid of your like or dislike, you need to have wisdom. But if you just want to stop your mind from reacting temporarily, that's mindfulness. But if you want to stop your mind from reacting permanently, then you have to use wisdom to see the things that you like or dislike as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, meaning that you cannot force them to make you like or dislike. You know. They are just the way they are, like the weather. You know, the weather, they come and go. Whether you like them or you don't like them, they come and go. You like spring, you hate winter. You know. So what you want to train your mind is to leave them alone and accept them for what they are. And then you won't have to do any mental reaction toward them. You will just be happy with them, whether they come or go. You know. So basically, you need equanimity plus wisdom to stop your mind from reacting to things. If you don't have equanimity, even though you can see it as anicca, dukkha, anatta, but your mind will still not accept them as such, because your mind, you don't have equanimity to control your mind from reacting. So you need both to be able to completely get rid of your defilement, like or dislike. If you have equanimity without wisdom, you can do it temporarily from time to time by using mindfulness to bring your mind to equanimity. But then when you lose that equanimity, your like and dislike can also come back up again. So you have to see that things are the way they are, and you cannot change them or force them to be the way you want them to be. Just accept them for what they are, and try not to have any like or dislike. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn. That's all.
Right. Okay. Forest Tom, you are next from Massachusetts. Is it still very cold there?
Yes, it's really cold. We had a warm spell, but now it's below freezing again. Thank you, Ajahn, for your teaching. I've been following your advice and using the first 5 parts of the body to contemplate and finding it very helpful. So now I would also like to try meditating on a skeleton, but I don't know how. Yesterday I tried to kind of see my skeleton, but it's very unclear. And then sometimes I would see it a little bit, but then it immediately disappears. So I want to ask your advice how to do skeleton meditation.
If you cannot visualize the skeleton, then you look in the book, go into the internet and search for skeleton image, and then keep looking at it. Close your eye, open your eyes. See, when you close your eye, can you still visualize it in your mind? And then once you can more or less know what the skeleton looks like, then try to maintain that image in your mind, like a meditation object. You know? Instead of using Bhutto, you can use a skeleton, for instance. Think of the skeleton. And then what you want to do next is apply it to the people that you see or yourself. When you look in yourself inside the mirror, try to visualize the skeleton under your skin and flesh.
Mhm.
And also try to visualize the skeleton under other people's flesh and skin also, to like penetrate the skin and the flesh so that you can see the skeleton.
I see. So initially, it's just the image that we see of the skeleton, but after that, it should be the skeleton in the posture that the person is in.
Yeah, just visualize when you see people standing, walking, sitting. See, instead of seeing people, you see skeleton instead.
Okay.
Just visualize the skeleton. The skeleton is standing, sitting, walking, running,
Okay. I'll try to do
something
that.
like that. And also look at your own body also.
Mhm.
You contemplate the external, which is other people, the internal is which is your body, so that you don't get lopsided vision of things. You might see everybody as a skeleton but yourself. You have to also look at yourself as being skeleton.
Mhm.
And if you just look at yourself as being skeleton, you might just think that you're just your skeleton and other people are not. So you have to see that everybody is the same in terms of the body.
Mhm. Okay.
Besides the skeleton, there are also other parts, like the lungs, the heart, the kidneys, the liver, intestines, so forth. You can go open up, you can search for anatomy, human anatomy, and there'll be diagrams of the internal organs for you to see. You can see them all, or you can just pick whatever you like.
Okay.
It depends on what you want to use it for. If you want to use it for a super, you want to look at the image that is not attractive. You want to look at image that is repulsive, loathsome, disgusting. So that will try to get rid of your beauty perception of body, of people's body. Every time you see a person as being good looking, then you say, what about inside? What about his or her skeleton? What about his or her intestines? This sort of thing. You want to be able to penetrate, use your mental vision to penetrate the body. Your physical vision, you cannot penetrate the body.
Mhm.
That's why a doctor needs X-ray machine to penetrate the body to see what's under the skin. But with the mind, you can visualize it by imagining it, by first seeing the picture, or maybe see the real thing. There are places in doctors' offices. Sometimes they hang a skeleton in the room, so you can just look at that and try to bring it inside your body and other people's body.
Mhm.
It's more or less what you want to do, so that eventually when you see people, you also see the skeleton.
So it's just imagination, right? You can't actually.
Well, imagination, but it's true, right?
Right.
What you imagine is true, right? It exists, right?
Mhm.
So since you cannot see it visually, then you have to see it mentally by your imagination,
I see.
which is what you see mentally is more important than what you see physically, visually.
Mhm.
Because what has impact on the mind is what you see mentally.
Mhm.
So once you get the picture into the mind, then you can use it to impact your defilements. As soon as your defilements start to have any attraction toward other human body, when you think of the skeleton, then this attraction can be suddenly dissipated,
Mhm.
and bring your mind back to normal.
Mhm. Okay, thank you, Tanajan. I'll follow that.
You can also use it as the face of death. Normally when we think of the skeleton, we think of death, right?
Mhm.
Mm. So eventually, this body will turn. Will be, if it's left alone by itself, it will eventually be what will be remain of the body is probably just the skeleton. The rest will dissolve, decay more quickly than the skeleton.
Mhm.
You just want to teach your mind to see the other side of the body, which we normally don't see, because we all want to maintain the beauty perception of our body.
Mhm.
But that is only one side of the story. The other side, that the body is also not good looking. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Tanajan.
Gavin, you're next, Gavin, from Washington State. How are you?
Hello, John. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good.
I don't have any questions today. Just wanted to say hi. It's been a while since I've been on the English one.
Okay. What time is it on your side?
It was 6 o'clock when we started.
Oh, so it's 6:20 now. Okay. So you have to get out a little bit early today.
Yeah, but not as early as before.
Okay. Before it was 5, right? Because of the daylight saving. You move your clock up 1 hour,
So it's a little bit easier now.
Okay. All right, then let me go to Philip and Adeline. Got anything? Any question today?
I just got a question with regards to something I have read in the Visuddhi manga, which is a Kasina meditation, the 10 Kasina meditation. Are these a original Theravada practice in terms of meditation, or this something which was picked up later in the teachings?
It's besides the point, really, whether how they came about, but once it's contained in the Tripitaka, you can take it that it is, it is good enough, and it's the means of entering to jhana. It's a meditation object. That's what it is. The 10 kasinas, they are the 10 different meditation objects. They are colors, right? Red colors, green, yellow, white. Okay, what happened to my screen again? Okay.
Okay.
So you don't. This is not the thing we want to discuss about how these things come about. We just if you want to, then you end up searching for the history of everything. The Buddha said, I think there's a parable, a story about a man being shot by an arrow, and then someone tried to help fix it, get rid of the arrow and fix the wound. And the man said, please don't do it now. Please go find out first who was the person who shot me, and what type of arrow, what kind of wood they use for the arrow, and what kind of feather If you spend all the time looking for this information, you will die, if you don't try to fix the wound. So what you want to is to fix your dukkha, get rid of your dukkha. And your dukkha is get rid by practicing samadhi, to get into jhana, training in mindfulness. And the Buddha didn't really spend much time on the casinos, but maybe it was practiced during the Buddha's time, because there was people practicing jhana before Buddhism. So I think this might be before the Buddha became enlightened. Maybe the Buddha had already studied and maybe used them also in his practice. But maybe eventually he found out that the easiest one is the mindfulness of breathing. So that's what he taught in the Satipatthana Sutta. So we hardly talk about kasina nowadays. Nobody practices kasina. Except for some, there might be some, but not generally speaking.
Yeah.
So, to try not to be distracted by your curiosity, because your curiosity also generates thoughts. And it can bring your mind to become more curious and more restless. I have some students, when they first met me, they keep asking questions, and I keep telling the answer until I got tired and saying, I think it's time for you to stop asking questions and stop thinking. Because you're not getting anywhere, you're just running in circles. And what I told you in a few days' time, you'll forget, and you'll come back and ask the same question again. So the goal is to stop thinking if you're into the practice. But if you're not into the practice, then okay, you can ask anything, but you have to ask somebody else, not here. Here we want you to stop thinking, stop asking questions about other things, except here we'll answer the question about how to practice. Okay?
Thank you.
So how's your practice? You should ask yourself that.
It's good. It's good. It's progressing. It's progressing well. I mean, it's putting down things more and more. I mean, getting the cravings less and less. Getting the mind calmer and calmer. Getting it still and still.
Yeah, your attachment. Getting your attachment.
Lesser and lesser. I mean, you can see it, and some. The subtle ones are the ones which are a bit difficult to put down, but it's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah. This is what you want to know more. How am I doing with my defilements? How am I doing with my letting go?
Yeah.
Rather than asking about universal questions. You can do that after you become enlightened. If you want to know anything else, you have all day long to search for anything you want to know. But your first priority is to fix your mind, heal your mind from the sickness of dukkha. Once you have no dukkha, then you can think about anything you want. But right now, don't try not to think. Try to stop thinking. And if you only think about asubha, think about anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was actually reading something to do with the Satipatthana Sutta, and there was actually a link. There was a link on the internet, and then it had to do with this Visuddhi manga, and then Kasina. So I just clicked on it, and then it just went. I just went on reading and reading and reading. Yeah, it's one of those links in the website. Yeah. the blue color link. So I just wanted to know what it was for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that all?
Yes, that's all.
Okay. Next, Ka Phai Lim. Hi, from Malaysia.
Yes, good day to you, Ajahn. I have a question today. It's on the knower and the doer part in meditation. So in order to calm the mind, is it true one should not react to the state of mind or the arising chitta? That's what I can read also as well. Because that will make the doer react and continue thinking, which prevent meditator from reaching the calmness. Is that true?
Yes, you ignore everything when you just concentrate on your meditation object. If you're using your breath, just keep watching your breath and disregard everything else that appears.
Okay. So does it mean that when in samadhi only the knower exists and aware?
Well, when the mind becomes calm, then the thinking disappears, and all the mental concomitants, they call it, and the mental objects also disappear, like emotions.
Yeah.
And all that is left with just knowing the knower.
Yeah.
And equanimity.
Right. Yes.
That's where you want to go.
Yeah, true.
But if you become involved with anything, then you'll get stuck there.
Right.
So ignore everything.
Okay.
There are distractions.
Yeah, distractions is sometimes it happens, but sometimes some other day there is no distraction at all. So yeah, then I read about something is called the arising chitta. So that's why I'm asking this question. It has something to do with the doer, yeah, and the knower as well. All right. Thank you, Ajahn. I've got the answer that I want.
Okay, you're
Sadhu.
welcome. Gek Yen So from Penang. Hi Gek, how are you?
Ajahn, I'm good. No question today, Ajahn, listening. Yeah.
Okay. Then let me say hello to Katarina Universal. Katarina, where are you from? Please unmute your microphone. Okay.
Yeah, I did it. Thank you for welcoming. Originally, I'm from Belarus, and last 5 years I've been living in Switzerland, where I'm married.
Okay. This is your first time to join our meeting.
To join your community, yes, this is the first time, but it's been maybe 7-8 years since I followed the Dhamma way. And last 3-4 years has been more intense.
Yes. Do you have any question today?
Well, I would take this chance and maybe just try. I would ask you if it is important to practice jhanas, because I was never concentrated on this practice. I did mindfulness with watching my mind and watching emotions and body and feelings, so satipatthana practice. But recently, just more theoretically, I started hearing about jhanas, and what I hear in the description of jhanas tells me about the conditions that I experienced 6 years ago when I was doing a 21-day Vipassana course, and I was reaching some states which were not clear to me and which frightened me. When the breath was very subtle, and when there was like everything was disappearing, just space. And since then I never focused, and that meditation was neither concentrated on jhanas. No, it was Vipassana meditation. But now when I hear the explanation of what jhanas are, I understand that probably I reached some jhanas at that practice, and I understand they're important. So shall I focus on jhanas and practice particularly jhanas? Or if we reach them, by the way, it's okay. If we don't do jhanas, it's also okay.
No, you want to reach jhana by your training in mindfulness. First, you have to train in mindfulness to control your thoughts, to stop your mind from thinking. And once you can stop your mind from thinking, then your mind will enter into jhana. That's when you'll find peace and happiness, mental peace and happiness, and equanimity. Your mind become neutral, devoid of any love, hate, fear, or delusion, temporarily. You want to keep developing the mind to be like that before you can go to vipassana to deal with your defilements, to get rid of your love, hate, delusion forever. Understand? I think
yes, but
the practice of vipassana that people are doing nowadays without jhana it's just useless. You cannot get rid of your defilements. You cannot get rid of your attachment, your cravings.
what if we are getting rid of these cravings by mindfulness and developing the right understanding that this is not something, not someone, this is impermanence, this is the nature of happening?
Yes, it's easy to contemplate, but it's hard to do it when you're in real time, when you're facing the real situation.
Yeah.
Like your body, you can contemplate now and see that it's not you. It's just a body. It's made up of the 4 elements. But you haven't yet found out whether you have actually let go of your body, your attachment to your body or not, until you have to come face to face with a life and death situation, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will see whether your mind is still attached to your body or not. If your body is under some form of attack, and it might be hurt or die, how is your mind reacting? See? If your mind gets excited, then it means you're still attached to your body. If you're not attached, if you're not excited, you just remain calm as before things happen, then it means you have let go of your attachment to your body. See what I mean?
I see what you mean. I don't see what it has to do with jhanas.
Well, without jhana, you will not be able to remain undisturbed. See? Your mind will get excited.
Oh.
But with jhana, you can keep your mind remain undisturbed by what you come into contact with.
Yeah, by being an observer.
Yes, just merely knowing and not reacting.
So it means we don't enter jhanas during the practice. It can be that we reach certain jhanas and we may stay in them also in our daily activities.
That's right. You want to keep practicing a lot of jhana so that even when you come out of meditation, you still have this jhana with you, this equanimity with you. And when you feel that you're losing this equanimity, then you want to go back and refill it in your meditation. So that when you come out of your meditation, your mind is a different mind from before, a mind that is not reacting emotionally to things. But you need to refill it regularly because it's impermanent. This kind of equanimity is still impermanent. But you can change it to become permanent by developing vipassana at the next level. When the mind sees everything as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, then it will then stop reacting permanently.
Is theory there important too? Or whatever I get by experience is good enough?
Well, theory is like a roadmap. You have to know where you're going, which way, and whether you're on the right path or not. So you need to study the path for your practice, and then you can keep checking from time to time to see whether you're in the right direction or not. So you need to know what you are, where are you going, what is your goal, what is your objective, what you have to do, this sort of thing. you have problem. See, we have problem. Our problem are the defilements, love, hate, delusion, or cravings, the three cravings: craving for sensual pleasure, craving for being, and craving for not being. These are the ones that keep creating stresses in our mind. So we want to get rid of this. And in order to get rid of this, we need to have the tool to get rid of. And the tool are the three practices of dana, sila, and bhavana: charity, morality, and meditation. So this is the theory that you want to know as far as Buddhism is concerned. And then once you know what you have to do, then you go ahead and do it. Practice charity to get rid of your dependence on money. Give it away. Try to live without using money to make you happy. And develop, keep the precept to prevent you from getting into trouble with other people. And then you will have the time to go meditate, to get into jhana, to get a new type of happiness. Happiness from jhana is better than the happiness from spending money, going out, buying things or doing things. Once you have that, then you can then teach your mind the truth about everything that your mind depend on to make it happy. That it is just temporary, anicca, anatta. You cannot control them. They can come and go anytime. And because they are, if you want them to be under your control, you can have stress because sometimes you cannot control them. So you want to stop your desire, your craving to control things, to give you happiness and comfort. So you don't want to rely on anything to give you comfort. You can be happy, comfortable without having anything. If you have the jhana and the wisdom. So this is eventually what you want to do is to let go of all your dependence on things that you're dependent on to make you happy. Because they are temporary and they can turn into stress for the mind instead of happiness. So this is the roadmap you want to do, the objective and what you have to do. You need to develop the tools to get rid of your defilements which are causing you stress. Is this clear enough?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is that all? Okay.
For now.
All right. Then we'll go to Alfredo. Alfredo from Brazil. Okay, you're not talking today, huh? Okay. Okay, I'll go to Sui and check. Hi, Sui. Check from Vancouver.
Hello,
Hi,
Ajahn.
Ajahn. We don't have any question, Ajahn. Just listening today.
Okay. You have asked enough question already.
I don't want to be the guy that
Keep asking you the same question.
got the arrow and then
Yeah. Go fix your mind. Go fix your mind. Train in mindfulness and meditate.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Next, Eileen from Singapore.
Good evening, Bhante. I'm from Malaysia.
Malaysia, I'm sorry.
Yes. I don't have any question today,
No
just for
question.
listening.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Bhante.
We'll go to Claudia Schweiner from Switzerland also. Oh, no, from Germany, I'm sorry. Keep forgetting. Can you unmute your microphone? There's a new button on the screen you have to push. See it? Okay.
Yes, now I got it. Yes, good afternoon from Germany. I also don't have any questions today, but I want to tell you that it is still a joy to translate your book. Yeah, it gives me a lot of peace of mind. And since I started to translate your book, my meditation practice is going to be much better. So I'm still very grateful that I may translate your book.
And that's because you are more concentrated. Because when you're translating, you have to really focus on what you read and try to understand it before you can put it in your language. So
Yes.
you're in effect training yourself in mindfulness.
Yeah. And your book also gave me the teaching of anicca, because I realized that my eyesight is getting worse since I'm translating it.
Yes.
So after about 10 days translating, I had to go to check my eyes, and my age is calling me, so I need new glasses that I can see better to translate your book. So it's a good reminder in anicca, anatta, dukkha.
Yeah. Eventually, we might not be able to use the eyes.
Excuse me?
Eventually, we might not be able to use the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So we don't want to be dependent on the body. We try to move away from being dependent on your body.
Yeah.
And become dependent on your mindfulness, because your mindfulness never get old or aging.
Yes. Still a hard way to let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Alvin, you're next from Malaysia.
Hi. Excuse me. Ajahn, I got just one question regarding my practice. Is sometimes I when I do anapanasati, I will just breathe normally, and I'm able to clear my mind. But sometimes I find it very hard because a lot of thoughts will arise. So sometimes what I'll do is I tend to breathe faster, and when I breathe faster, I'm able to concentrate better. Instead, Ajahn, to breathe fast.
It was just briefly, just for getting your mindfulness back. Maybe that's okay. But normally you don't want to force your breath. You don't want to do anything with your breath except watching it. I use chanting instead when my mind is not focused enough on the breath. I just do some chanting. I recite the sutta, the Satipatthana Sutta, until I find the mind become more focused and able to watch my breath, and I stop. I chant mentally, not verbally.
Okay, so try to avoid that right, from breathing. Try to change.
Leave the breath alone. Leave the breath alone. You just want to use it as an anchor, something to hold on to prevent your mind from thinking about other things.
Thanks.
And also to stop your mind from being active. See, when you force your breathing, you force your mind to become active, because the mind has to force the breath. So you don't want the mind to be active, to do anything, but merely knowing.
Thanks. Understood.
Okay. Next, Kirian Duong from London. Hi.
Hello, Ajahn. I just have a question. If it doesn't matter much if like if you eat less, then your body gets skinnier. We don't have to worry about like the level or the amount of food we cut, right? Because even the Buddha used to be very, very skinny with his skin to his spine. So we just ignore it all, right?
Well, the Buddha said we should eat just enough for existing, not eating for pleasure. That's defilement. See? Just maintain the body. So you have to also find the right amount for you, because if you eat too much, you can become drowsy and sleepy. If you don't eat enough, you can have sickness from being too skinny also. So you have to know how much you should eat.
As long as we find it okay, it's okay.
If the body okay, doesn't get sick, then no problem.
Yeah.
And it doesn't become an impediment to your practice, because you still have to use the body for your practice. You don't want your body to get sick, then you have to go to the hospital and so forth.
Yeah.
But mainly we don't want to eat too much. That's why we only eat once a day for monks. The Buddha recommend the Dhutanga practice of eating once a day, because that's all the body needs. Just the meal, one meal a day is enough. Since we meditate, don't do much physical work, so we don't use a lot of energy, so we don't need a lot of food. Okay. Is that all?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. B from Bangkok. Hi, B.
Good evening, Thanajan. How are you today?
Fine.
Yes, Thanajan, I have one question. It's regarding the 4 Brahma Viharas. I understand that we want to try to have equanimity, ubekha, as much as possible. So my question is regarding the other 3 Brahma Viharas, metta, karuna, and mudita. Is it good to practice them alongside, or should we try to focus more on equanimity than the other 3? And if we practice too much of the other 3, would be a hindrance, because the other 3 are considered positive states of mind, but equanimity is a neutral state of mind. So I'd like some clarity on that, please.
Well, actually, if you have equanimity, then the other 3 will come naturally. Because when you have equanimity, you're happy. So when you're happy, you can become friendly. You are friendly, you are kind, and you are not envious of other people's advancement. You know? So the practice of equanimity will then makes it easy for you to generate love, loving kindness, compassion, and sympathetic joy toward other people, because you're happy. See? But when you're not happy, you'll find it difficult to give love, to loving kindness, or compassion, or sympathetic joy toward other people. So it's more or less like automatic. Once you have equanimity, then the other 3 will be part of the the result that you get. So don't worry about the other 3. Worry about equanimity. But this is real equanimity. There are pretend equanimity, like pretend to be still, to be not involved with people or things. When actually the situation requires that you have to be involved. Like the other day, I saw a monk sitting, and he somehow there's a bucket of ice, and he somehow made it slip and fell on the floor, and all the ice just spilled out the bucket. And he just sat there and not do anything. And while the other people, the lay people, will have to stop and come and try to clean up. And he showed no sign of any involvement, as if he has equanimity. But to be honest, I think when you do something wrong, you want to be part of the solution, right? You want to go and fix things, and not just not sitting there and practice equanimity.
It's hard to not do it.
Yeah, but if you have equanimity, real equanimity, you want to get involved. When there are things that is caused by you, especially. You don't want just to sit there and remain in equanimity and let other people take care of your problem that you created. So if you practice meditation, you'll get real equanimity. And then when the situation requires you to have loving kindness, you will show it. If it requires you to have compassion, you will show it. If it requires you to have sympathetic joy, you will show it.
So these positive states of mind are good. They're not considered a hindrance to our development in our meditation practice, right? Is that right?
Well, they are good in the sense that only when you have to use them. See? When you don't have to use them, you don't want to try to spend your time showing loving kindness to people. When you meditate, you don't want to get involved with people. You want to be alone, to develop this equanimity. But if you are forced under situations to meet people, then you would then show your loving kindness by greetings, saying hello to people, and not keep quiet and try to become using equanimity when the situation requires that you have to have loving kindness or compassion or sympathetic joy. But you don't want to go out of your way just to show that you have loving kindness, compassion, and sympathetic joy either. You only do it when the situation requires you to do so. Otherwise, you use equanimity as you're standing. Your main actor is equanimity. You try to be uninvolved with everything. But if the situation requires that you have to have compassion, then you show your compassion. Like someone needs some help, and if you can help them, you do it. But you don't want to go out the way to show people that you have compassion. Some people feed a lot of stray dogs. They go look after for stray dogs to help and feed them. Then you become involved with all these activities, and your mind will never find peace that way.
I see. So it's about finding the right balance.
Yes. The thing that you really need to develop is equanimity. And then the other three depends on the situation. Like when you see your people in your house, you say hello or say hi. You don't want to, ignore them and stay in equanimity. And they might be wondering, what's wrong with him? What's going on? Well, we have this lady in my Thai Zoom class. She's been practicing equanimity, and her husband get a little bit annoyed because she doesn't look at him at all and ignore him. So I tell her, you have to have loving kindness when you meet people. You don't want to use equanimity when you meet people. When people need help, you want to show compassion and help them. And if people have success, you want to show your appreciation of the success.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's very clear, Ajahn. Thank you so much for the clarification.
But if you don't have equanimity, all the other things will be force mindful, force compassion, force. But if you have equanimity, then it's real. Comes naturally. Okay, so
yes.
So try to when you're alone, try to develop equanimity. And when you run into people, even if you have to force, you have to do it. Force your compassion, force your loving kindness when the situation requires you to do so. If you haven't yet have the real one.
Yes, understood, Ajahn. That's very clear.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ajahn.
All right. Welcome. Next, Professor Kenneth from Switzerland. Hi, Professor.
Good afternoon, Professor Ajahn. Professor of Dhamma.
Anything today?
Yes, Ajahn, I have a question I'd like to ask regarding the practice in relation to dukkha. Because there are certain kinds of dukkha that very strongly have come up for me many, many years. And for quite a long time, I spent quite a lot of time going around really trying to look at where it came from, like the guy who was looking for the who shot the arrow. But then when I started to practice, I started to leave that behind and just focused on the practice. But these days I still sometimes think about the nature of dukkha, and I actually see dukkha as strong dukkha as quite valuable in a sense, because for me at least it's what really forces me to maintain consistency in the practice. So in a way I've come to welcome dukkha because it helps me in that way. So my question is that a correct way of contemplating the nature of dukkha?
Well, dukkha, there are two types of dukkha. The real, in real time dukkha and the dukkha that you imagine. See? So what's important is the real time dukkha. When you're stressful, then you want to find out the cause of your stressful. And normally it's probably one of your cravings, one of your desires that's caused you to have stress. So you want to get rid of that desire so that you can eliminate the stress. But if you cannot use wisdom, then you have to use mindfulness. Just calm your mind down. Just stop it from thinking. When your mind becomes calm, and then the stress that arises from your thinking will disappear temporarily. That's as far as I'm concerned. As far as dukkha for me is concerned. I want to deal with it in real time.
So the contemplation of the source of the dukkha in terms of the craving that causes it is okay.
This is like doing the homework, because the stress hasn't yet happened at that time when you're contemplating on the cause of your dukkha, or even contemplate on the cause that will get rid of your dukkha, which is the magga, contemplating on anicca, dukkha, anatta. That is still considered to be not in real time. It's like preparing yourself for the real situation. You have to rehearse yourself first, how to deal with this situation. When you get angry, how are you going to do it? If you want to use you want to use wisdom, then you have to look at the object of your anger as being anicca, dukkha, anatta. As being anatta, really, as being not under your control. We like to control things. And when we cannot control them, we become stressful by anger or by disappointment or something. But the stress or dukkha is the result of this expectation. So you want to teach your mind not to expect anything from anything, because you don't always get it. Expect that you might not get what you want. Impermanency, uncertainty is impermanent.
Yeah.
Anatta, uncontrollable. Try to see things as uncertain and uncontrollable. Sometimes, not all the time. Maybe some of the time you can control them, but some of the time you cannot control them.
Okay.
If you contemplate this, is still not in real time. See, it's only when you have stress with a certain object, and then you want to do the real contemplation to stop your mind from expecting or wanting anything from that object. When you stop this expectation or your want from that object, then your mind will then let go of that object, and the stress will then disappear, because you let go of your want, your desire for that object. So this is what you should contemplate on the nature of dukkha. It's a consequence of your want or your expectation from a certain thing or people that cause you the stress, the dukkha in your mind. If you don't expect anything from anybody or anything, then there will be no stress. But we keep expecting, right? Expecting today to be a sunny day, good day, expecting the economy to be going well, expecting the virus to disappear, for instance. We are creating dukkha without knowing it.
Yeah.
Rather than expecting, just take things as they come. That's what we're supposed to train our mind to. Just take things as they come, good or bad. When they come, they come. You just take them. When you take them, then no stress. When you don't take them, then the stress comes.
Yeah.
Understand?
Understand. That's very helpful. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. That's all for today, for now.
Thank you.
Okay. Gary from Singapore, you're next.
Hello, Ajahn. Good evening, Ajahn. How are you?
Good evening to you.
No question today, Ajahn, just listening in. By the way, Ajahn, thank you for the books that I received last week.
Okay. You have to thank the person who sent you the book.
Oh, okay. Yes, I did through the email. Yes.
Okay. All right. Then let me say hello to Belinda. Belinda from Singapore. Are you happy? Are you peaceful or stressful?
Mixed.
Mixed, yeah. Because you still have expectation. Don't expect anything from anybody, and you won't have no stress.
So worries over uncertainties. There's habits of hoping to be in control.
Yeah. Trying to control things that you cannot control.
Also expectations from the society, the norms. People expect you to be in certain manner, expect us to have preference. So it is about coping and balancing, adapting to the worldly world as well. So there is a also stress from expectation from others.
Okay.
Ajahn, I went for eye checkup recently because my glasses is very old. I can't see I have short sighted. I can't see far. And now I have got long sighted as well, aging. I can't see near. So I wanted to make new glasses, but I was surprised to find out that my short sighted actually has improved. It means I can see far better.
Because anicca.
Anicca. So,
change is anicca. Uncertainty is anicca. Never remain the same. From short become long. From long become short.
But the short, I can't read near. It's because my old glasses, I can see far now. I can see better. So in fact, they decreased the degree. So it was an improvement. So I was, something, no, I'm not sure. Maybe it's the diet. Or maybe because the habit, I don't watch as much television. I'm not too sure. But I do feel aging very much in the body. So it's a stress coping the physical tiredness. So there's also lack of self-discipline to exercise, like going for the Tai Chi class. So there's a lot of vibhava tanha, on and off will come, and I just accept them.
I try to learn to accept things as they are, as they come, and then you will have no stress. Okay. Your question today.
Is it correct to accept it in a way where sometimes I just lie down and if time allows, I just lie down and accept the emotion as is. It's like I just lie down and close my eyes. It's as if like death. Just for that moment. Is it right to cope in that way?
Well, your emotion are the result of your reaction to things. So what you want to do is go to the source of your emotion, which is your cravings, your expectation. But if you cannot go there and you can somehow just leave the emotion alone, that's good enough also. Okay. If you're gonna feel bad, let it feel bad, and just think that it's anicca. So sooner or later it will disappear. And right now it's anatta. You cannot get rid of it. So let it stay. Don't have any desire to get rid of it. Don't have any desire for it to go away, because it will create more stress, more emotion. Just remain in equanimity, not reacting to anything, your emotion or anything. Just leave it alone.
Coming back to Buddha helps.
Okay, Buddha can also help you stop your mind from reacting. Mindfulness will help you stop reacting.
Ajahn, is it right intention to suppose I need to make decisions and I need to respond to the worldly world of my decisions? Is it right motivation to come back to present moment, hoping that my mind would be clear and make a clear judgment call? Is that I feel it's I create expectations in wanting to come back to the present, such that I can make a better such that I can make a decision. Coming back to the present moment. Sometimes there are just too much thinking.
Yes, if you can clear your mind, you might be able to make a better decision, because when you're emotionally involved, then your decision can be be tainted by your emotion.
So it's okay to meditate because there's a need to make decision. It's okay to go with the expectations, or if there's a
Well, if you have the time to meditate and calm your mind and clear your mind, that would be better, because then you're thinking clearly, not emotionally. But sometimes in life you don't have the time to go meditate before you decide, right? Like when you're walking, go shopping, and you see something beautiful and you want it, but you don't really need it. So how are you gonna decide which is the, you want to go by with your emotion or you want to go with your sensibility? Your sensibility tell you you don't need it, but your desire is that you want it because it will make you happy. Do you have time to go meditate and clear your mind first to make the right decision?
sometimes the real time we can stop the desire. Sometimes okay. Anatta.
All right.
Thank you, Obom.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me go to Lisa Wu from Singapore. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, good evening, Ajahn. Nice to be online with you and the rest of the Dhamma brothers and sisters. I don't have a question today, just listening in and continue to practice. And I know the advancement will be gradual, so just have to be patient and practice every day. Thank you,
By the
Ajahn.
way, I heard that Ajahn Anand was giving a 1 week meditation course in Singapore, right?
Right. And
Did you
I did it
attend?
last week. Yes, I did. And virtual retreat was very helpful because very surprised that I can do the 8 days, 8 precepts without having food in the afternoon. And was very happy, and I rejoiced with everyone.
And you did this at home, right?
Yeah, I did that because I'm staying alone, so it was very comfortable and conducive, and let me understand that the schedule can be like this. If I want to do a 2 days retreat or 3 days retreat on my own, I could do it because now I understand how to go about doing it on my own.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So you just learn how to do it.
Right, and then of course by your teaching of the Buddho and continuous of the mindfulness, and I could actually continuously do it for a few days during the retreat. The last few days actually was very good. It was quite continuous, maybe it was quite good. But once after the retreat, you went back to the normal life, everything was a bit disrupted. So we're trying to get back into the motion again.
Yeah. You have to keep coming back to your retreat to maintain your sanity.
Yes. Yeah. So now I understand how what is it like? What is the meaning of continuous mindfulness?
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Keep controlling your thoughts.
Yes, controlling your thoughts and no thoughts. Very important, no thoughts.
Yeah.
And avoid the news and everything. I think that 8 days really put me straight, like how to go forward, And actually, I like to ask you whether is my meditation was correct. During one of the meditation session, I was doing just chanting Buddha, 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 or trying to get into samadhi, and suddenly there is a image that comes through that I was cycling, and next moment the bicycle went all fall off with the wheels and the pedal, everything went off, and then I, as the rider, also become a skeleton. Then I was thinking, hey, what happened to me during the meditation? Then straight away my mind told me, say that it's non-self. The mind is not the body. It's like this. Then at the moment, then I realized that, hey, is it because I'm thinking too much? because I'm doing the concentration, but why did the image come true? So after I came out from the meditation, then I contemplated and I reflected, what was it that was trying to tell me? Is it non-self? But non-self theoretically we know, but was it that the image was trying to reaffirm me that this is really what it is? Is my understanding correct?
Well, it depends on how your mind perceive these things. If the mind perceive it to be real and to be able to apply it in real life, then it's good. To perceive that there's no self in the body, for instance. So that's what you want to do. Can you apply this in your real life? Look at your body as not being yourself.
Okay. So yes, I will have to continue to practice and be diligent. Yeah.
Because what you see is just merely like a message. It's how to do it. What you want to do, you want to apply it in real life. When you are out of meditation, when you're watching your body, do you still consider it to be yourself or not yourself? This is the question you should ask.
Yeah. Okay. Understand.
If it's not myself, then I should not worry too much about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not myself. It's no longer. The body is just a lump of
32 parts. 32 parts.
And without the mind, the body is just there. You cannot do anything. The mind. So that's why now must have a truth. Must have the panya to understand that the mind and the body is totally separated. Which but
there are two individuals. The body is one individual, the mind is another individual.
So understand this already. So have to continue to practice more diligently to educate the mind that it is like this, and this is, and this is
the mind that the body is not the mind, and that the mind should not get stressful with the body.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, this is my journey now that moving forward. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, Vince Chua from Singapore. So, hi, Vince.
Hi. Good evening, Ajahn. My question. I think there's a question that I like to ask is like, when the knower is in place, and can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. When the knower is in place, and I find that it's extremely productive if I put the mother thought, like an intention of the topic that I want to think of, then the thoughts that comes about seems to be controlled and arranged around the intention of the mother thought. It's especially useful for me when I'm at work on the creative field. So I would like to ask this question. Seems that the mind or the wandering thought can serve the knower when the knower set the intention of the mother thought, and all the daughter thoughts will come in, and is extremely useful for me in my workplace. So my question is it this, once you have intention and all the which is the mother thought and the daughter thought comes about, is okay, or is it not okay? Because it seems to be controlled, and my brainstorming of ideas is very smooth.
Well, if you're working, then you have to rely on your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have creative thoughts, for instance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you want to practice, then it's the other way around. You don't want to use your thought at all.
Right.
And if you want to use your thought, you want to use it according to the truth. See everything as anicca, anatta.
Okay. Ajahn, next question. If let's say I know the knower is in place, I know there's a calm mind, calm body, and calm space. And sometimes when a question posted to you, you don't know how to answer. So should we answer to feed people's ego, or should, I mean, because once you are the body, mind, and space is calm or quiet, you really don't know how to answer. So how should we make a response? Because we need to give an action or an answer to people.
Just tell the truth. You don't know, just say you don't know.
Okay.
Simple.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is that all? Okay.
Yes.
Next, Yannasangwararam from Lebanon.
Yeah.
Yannasangwararam, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, Bhante. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. I just also completed this 8-day online retreat. Yeah. With
You find it useful?
Yes, it was useful, but unfortunately there's 5-hour time difference. So I missed almost half of the retreat.
Can you watch it afterward? Do they have it taped?
They probably do. I'm not sure though. I would check the email that they sent us if there's some link for the recording. But what I found mostly interesting are the chanting. I seem to be enjoying the chanting a lot.
Was it on live, Facebook Live?
Not that I know of. It was on Zoom.
On Zoom only, I see.
Yeah,
it was on Facebook, then you can always go back and watch it and then adjust it to your time.
Actually, funny enough, just right this moment, I got an email from Facebook and they said that on April 16, the Facebook Watch will stop. The service of Facebook Watch will completely stop.
Facebook, April 16, what's going to happen?
The Facebook Watch, you know the feature, the Facebook Watch will stop. There will be no more Facebook Watch.
I see.
I just got that email right now. So yeah, but I have the booklet for the chanting. I can always refer to it. It's in English and Bali.
Okay.
And the Dhamma talks, inspiring, and also inspiring to see like 250 people, around 250 plus, they participated. It was a good motivating force for my practice.
You have any question today?
Yes, I wanted to ask you about the meditation on the perception of light. It is usually prescribed for Tinamita, when we are experiencing laziness, lazy mind. So they said there's something about perception of light, how to look at the light.
Just close your eye and imagine you're watching the sun, looking at the sun, and you imagine the bright light coming from the sun in order to wake your mind up. See?
Yeah. So we have to close our eyes.
Yes, it's just a technique. That's all. Technique for arousing your mind by thinking of light. Yes, you have to close your eye, then you can imagine light pouring into your mind. But nowadays you have the electricity. You can just watch the glow of the light bulb.
Oh, okay. So I can also open my eyes, right?
Yes, you can. Just to get your mind from being sleepy, just to wake you up. But I don't know whether it's useful or not, because I found that fasting is much more useful to prevent sleepiness.
Oh, interesting. Fasting on one meal or no meals?
No meals if you can. Just drink water for 24 hours and see. And you'll find that your body is light and you're always alert, you're always awake because you're always hungry. See?
Yeah, I know people who fasted like that for 7 days, only water fasting.
Yes, some people can do that, and they find it useful for the meditation practice because once they're fasting, they cannot remain lazy. They have to be mindful to stop the mind from thinking about food.
And there will also be less lust in the mind, right?
Yes, everything will, all the other lust will go because there'll be only one lust for food. The lust for food will be prominent, and the other lust can wait. Right now, you want to fill your stomach first.
Yeah, because we will be in like panic mode, like a survival mode, I think they call
That's
it.
right. When you're in survival mode, you don't think of the other comfort, right? The other pleasure. Those can come later on. I think there was a study before I read somewhere that during a famine there will be less childbearing. When people
child.
Yeah, no childbirth, no childbirth. There's less birth. The birth rate comes down very low when you're under famine condition. But when the famine
It's good to have a
disappears,
famine nowadays, control the population.
yeah, because when there's famine, you only think about food. You don't think about sex. It's only when when you have full stomach, then you start thinking about sex.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, but there one more thing. If I want to get your books, I should email your assistant.
Yes, go to Kunjub. Yeah, I think they will forward it to Kunjub. She's up there on the screen on top. She's the one who sent all the books to those who request.
How do I contact her?
Kunjub, what do you
Is
think?
it the same email? Assistant.Ajahn Suchart at.
Let Kunjub say it. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I think you can send an email to the Ajahn Suchart, Assistant Ajahn Suchart, and then they will forward it to me, and then I'll send them to you.
Okay. That's wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is that all for now?
Is all. Thank you for your time, Ajahn.
Next is Roger HK from Hong Kong. Roger.
Ajahn, sadhu. I just received a reminder from my Dhamma friend, Charmaine Tan, that I can talk to you, and I got this opportunity to talk to you today. I'm very appreciative.
Yes, do you have any question? Yes, do you have any question?
Yes. I didn't know there are so many Dhamma friends here that also attended the 8 days retreat. I just came back from Malaysia, so I was in hotel for 21 days. So happened that I can do the retreat in my hotel quarantine, so it was quite useful. So this time, I think my friend asked me to focus on how to achieve the samadhi, the concentration. But I think I still have problem or have challenges to really go there. But I can remember that when I was much younger, about 20 years old, that time, I think one time, I don't know how I did it. It's like I went to a stage where my mind becomes so focused and concentrated. My whole wisdom become like 10 times smarter. And in terms of like, I don't need a lot of sleep. I sleep 4 hours, but like my mathematics from not so good become very good, top in the class. Everything is superb. So I was trying to find what's the best way to go back to that stage. And so I guess this is something that I want to try to do. This is my first question. Second question is that in terms of right living, I think to do meditation, sometimes it says that you cannot read a lot of news. You cannot be like attached to the world. But I'm in the finance industry, so I follow the news and I follow the market up and down. So the emotional up and down, and sometimes a lot of stress and a lot of fear as well. So I think that's one thing. And second, the thing is that about the alcohol. So I'm not really a alcoholic. I don't drink for pleasure, but in my work, sometimes you meet stranger. The only way to connect, let's say Chinese client, for stranger is to sometimes have some drink. So sometimes I think I want to hold my precepts, but there's no choice. So these are my questions: samadhi, my work, and then the alcohol.
Well, I think you have to divide up your time, see, for work and for meditation. So on your day work, you probably won't be able to practice sila, like drinking alcohol and so forth. So, but on your day off when you're not working, then you can then concentrate on practicing the Dhamma, like abstaining from drinking alcohol, keeping the 5 precepts, and the other 2 I forget what your question was.
The way to achieve samadhi.
The how to get into samadhi, the way to get to samadhi is mindfulness. You have to focus your mind on one object to prevent your mind from constantly thinking. Like if you're moving around in your whatever you do, you can concentrate on your body. Keep watching what your body is doing. Alternatively, you can use a mantra like Bhutto Bhutto to prevent your mind from thinking about other things, so that you can stay concentrated on what you do. If you're brushing your teeth, just concentrate on just brushing your teeth. If you're eating, just concentrating on eating without thinking about other things. If you have this strong mindfulness, when you sit in meditation, your mind will become calm and empty of thoughts, and you will be able to see things clearly. Okay.
Gotcha.
Does this answer all your questions?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ajahn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have to separate your work from your meditation. You cannot do them both.
Okay.
Because they interfere with each other. They go in a different direction.
That's right.
So when you're not working, then you can meditate. But when you're working, then you cannot meditate. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajahn. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Who is next on the screen?
Jason.
Jason. Oh.
Good evening, Ajahn. How are you?
Fine, thank you. You're from Singapore, right?
No, I'm from Penang, Malaysia. I got 2 questions to ask tonight. The first part of the question is regarding my experience during the Lompo Anand's retreat, online retreat. It's a very incredible experience I have on the 5th and 6th, 7 days. Able to get into the samadhi. When I was really relaxed and able to look at my breathing, there was bright light appearing. And as I let go of myself deeper and deeper, and the light is getting brighter and brighter. And in addition to it, I get these eruptions in me as well, both times coming out together. And somehow when I was concentrating very deep into the breath, not only the lights getting brighter as you go deeper, it feels there's like a heat. When you close your eye, there's a heat. Your face is like warm, like an electric bulb in front of you. And then after I come out, for the next 3 days, during not meditating, when I'm sitting down to have a cup of tea or something like that, I still feel the current moving about in my body. And I never ever experienced this before. And the samadhi was good because you just like falling into deep into your breathing, and the whole thing is just floating, and there's an energy that pump your body out, and your body is like not painful everywhere. It's just like pumping yourself out. And I think I didn't concentrate. I didn't look at the lights or the eruption. I just keep on concentrating on the breathing, and it gets deeper and deeper. To my mind, this is not jhana or anything like that. It's nibbita. But my lights one was all not like a spotlight. It was all bright, just white light, and the intensity increases as the breathing goes deeper. And after this happens, when I come out from these meditations, now whenever I go into meditations, I'm able to go in quite fast. And it's as if like somebody has clicked on the switch in my mind, like a Dhamma eye, and you just go in. So I try many times to go in and keep on breathing on the breathing, just ignoring the light, just keep on reminding it's just nibbita, nothing else. I still haven't get to the stage to overcome that. So I would like Ajahn to advise me on how to proceed from here.
Well, you just have to keep on focusing on your breath, and ignore everything. Just keep focusing on your breath until the mind can enter into emptiness and equanimity.
Yeah, I did that. I keep on concentrating on the breath, just aside there on my back of my mind. I don't think this is PT or eruption. In my mind, it's not, because it comes so fast. It just happen.
Don't worry
like
about
that.
it.
No, I'm not worried about it. I just say that, what's the difference between nibbita and jhana?
I don't know about nibbita, but I know jhana is equanimity. When your mind becomes still and has no emotion, it becomes neutral. It doesn't react with love, hate, fear, or delusion.
But this was an incredible feeling, because after you come out, it's just like the mind and your eyes are also on the ball at the present moment.
It's useless for your work of getting rid of your dukkha, your defilements. They are not. You need equanimity to do it.
Okay. So I just concentrate on my breathing still to go deeper and deeper. And eventually I'm intent to let it come on itself, just breathing on.
Yeah, you have to concentrate on your breath until eventually everything disappears and the mind become empty.
Okay. The second question Ajahn I'm asking was that I had been sort of like before I was reading about this 5 precepts on alcohol. My blood sugar is on the borderline, like 6 or 5.9, and somebody introduced me kombucha, and I mix my kombucha on my own, and I'm doing like 100 ml per day, supposed to lower your sugar, and it did help me, but I'm feeling a bit guilty regarding the precepts on alcohol. Can Ajahn advise me on that, please?
If it's medicinal, it's for medicine purpose, then it's okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was very worried that, because it's to help me to lower my blood sugar, and it did help. I can feel the difference if I drink and I don't drink.
And it doesn't make you drunk.
No. It's only 0.01 or 2% alcohol.
Yeah,
very low.
Just for medicine purpose, it's okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. And for all my brothers and sisters, all the virtual retreats online is always recorded, and they were always posted back to all the retreatants after the online retreat. I have attended about, this is my 6th or 5th online retreat already.
And where do you get this recorded session from?
They write to the retreatants to give them, because when you do the retreat, you have to write to them to get a register. You register, then they have your name. So immediately, like the Lompot Anand one, the next day or the next 2 days, they send back the email to all the retreatants that they got your email, just like a group chat, and then they highlighted there where you can get all the recording.
I see. Okay. Just in case whoever attended and wants to repeat it again, then they can ask for this recorded session.
Yes, because all the organizers take so much effort in doing all, so far all the online retreats they have invited from Canada, Portugal, whatever, is all recorded. So for brothers and sisters, if you really want to look at all the retreats recording, they are all down there. They can find in, I think, in the YouTube or Facebook or whatever.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tamajan. Thank you.
Right. Next, Anura, I think you're next from New Zealand. Anura.
Hi.
Okay.
Oops, yeah, sorry.
Your video is off.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry,
back on.
Thank yeah. How are you? So
Good, thank you. And you?
I'm very good, Ajahn. So today I don't have any question. It's been very helpful listening to all the answers. So they're really helpful to me. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Next, Soling from London.
Hello, Ajahn. No question. We are listening. Thank you.
Okay. Soling. Anybody else?
Lillian.
Lillian. Okay. Hi, Lillian. From Bangkok.
Yes. I don't have any questions, but I remember a few sessions ago I was telling you that I had this medicine that I use for my headache, and I recently the doctor actually told me that the medicine is very bad for my liver, so really have to depend on my willpower to make sure that the headache doesn't happen. So I think it was last week I had a very, very bad headache and I couldn't take any medication. So it was a very good reflection for me that when we are sick, it's very, very hard to be mindful because I tried to meditate it off and there was no way I could do it as well. And it reminded me that if I get a sickness that is worse than the headache, I don't know how I will be able to handle it, at least at the moment.
Well, handle it with equanimity. Just let it be. Don't try to get rid of it. Don't try to do anything to it. Just calm your mind and let your mind accept things as they come. Okay. Because eventually things will happen to the body in which there's nothing anybody can do anything about it. And the best way to deal with it is just to use, equanimity. If you don't have, then you just have to generate it at that time by reciting a mantra. Just keep reciting mantra, and then the mind will then withdraw itself from the body, and then the thickness of the body will then not bother the mind.
Okay, thank you. And this weekend our family will be going to Pattaya, so hopefully we'll be able to go to your Dhamma talk, the afternoon one.
Yeah, 2:00 in the afternoon.
Okay. Hopefully we can see you there.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Good. Anybody else has any question? I think everybody has already asked their question. So maybe let's go to Facebook for some question, if there is any. Kunjup, any question?
Yes, this evening so far we have 10 questions. So may I start? The first question is from Dhammapath. Dhamma greetings, Ajahn. This is a question from my friend. While doing Anapana meditation, he experienced a lot of tension in his head. But after chanting Putto, Putto, the tension goes away. Is this the right way to practice? Sadhu ka.
Yes, if you can get rid of the tension, it's fine. And if you can keep continuing using Putto, Putto, it will be able to get you into jhana also, either Putto or mindfulness of breathing.
The next question is from Po Liang Soon. When I can't concentrate to meditate after saying Putto, the mantra Putto, and I cannot proceed further, is it okay if I decide to stop and reschedule for other time to meditate? Would that be all right to do?
It is all right, but it doesn't get you far. You just stop there. If you want to get further, then you have to continue on meditating, forcing yourself to recite the mantra. And eventually you might be able to pass the threshold that keep blocking you from going forward.
The next question is from Ben Chua. Respectfully, Ajahn, I would like to understand what emptiness is. Does emptiness referring to everything as being empty, or the basic 6 elements itself is emptiness, or the space element and knowing element is emptiness? May Ajahn explain more of emptiness, please?
Well, you have to look up Google better and find the definition of emptiness. But in terms of Buddhism, when we talk about emptiness, we mean the emptiness of the mind, in which there are no emotion or thoughts or stress. The mind just merely like the space without any objects in the space. The mind itself, if you close your eyes, it's like it being in space, right? When your mind, but your mind still has a lot of thoughts coming and going. But when you meditate and eventually you stop your thoughts, then there's nothing left in the mind except just the merely knowing and the sense of good feeling and equanimity. So I wouldn't want to worry too much about the word emptiness. What we want is to make the mind empty of suffering, empty of stress. That's the goal, really, is to get rid of the stress. You have to get rid of your craving, so your desire. No desire, no stress. Stress come with your desire, come from your desire. So you can get rid of your craving or your desire, then the mind will be free of stress, empty of stress or dukkha.
The next question is from Pauline Soon. Does practicing meditation need energy?
Well, yes, you do anything, you need energy, physical and mental energy. Your body has to have the strength to sit, and if not, when you're sick, you don't have the energy, then you lay down. When you lay down, you usually go to sleep. So when you want to meditate, then you have to have physical energy enough to be able to sit down. And then you have to have mental energy enough to focus on your meditation object. So yes, the answer is you have to have energy, both physical and mental energy.
The next question is from Oi Pua. Good evening, Ajahn. I have heard from somewhere that it is easier for one to attain sainthood if one studies the Abhidhamma. Can you please explain?
Studying Abhidhamma or studying the sutta doesn't make one a noble disciple. You have to practice. You have to practice samatha and vipassana bhavana.
The next question is from Ben Chua. Ajahn, when we practice mindfulness, our body falls down a bit, but we are still with Putto, Putto. Should we be pushing up back our body or just let it be with that ka?
Leave the body alone. Once you start meditating, don't worry about the body. You want to pull the mind away from the body. But if you keep coming back to the body, then your mind cannot get away from the body. So once you start meditating, then don't worry about the body.
The next question is from Aini Lam. Hello, Ajahn. Is it recommended to meditate somewhere near a cemetery? There were claims of many yakas throwing stones at night near the temple. However, I think otherwise because it is definitely some acts of human who wants to take over the place. Is this correct?
I don't know about yaka and all these spiritual beings you're talking about, but the purpose of going to a cemetery for meditation is because it's a good environment. First of all, nobody goes there, so it's secluded. And secondly, it's a scary place to go. If you have to go there, you have to be very mindful to stop your thoughts from thinking about ghosts and so forth. So it forces you to become mindful, and then it will make it easy for you to train yourself in mindfulness and sit in meditation. That's the purpose of going to a cemetery, to assist in your meditation practice, because it's a very conducive environment for meditation.
The next question is from Winster Go. When we see impermanence in things, does the non-self and suffering follow automatically in our mind?
Well, you have to look at them. When you see them as being impermanent, then you say, like the body is impermanent. Right now, you see the body as a self. But when the body dissolves into ashes, then there's no self, right? And you see dukkha that arises from the losing of yourself, because you're still attached to your body. If you're not attached to your body, then there would be no dukkha. This is how you should contemplate. They are interconnected, but they're slightly different.
The next question is from Pauline Soon. When is the stage of mindfulness that we should be in before we proceed to vipassana on watching the mind?
Well, you have strong mindfulness to be able to get your mind to jhana anytime you want. And when you come out of meditation, you can control your thoughts all the time. Then you can then direct your thought toward vipassana.
The next question is from Ben Chua. Ajahn, regarding the four jhanas, are equanimity and khanika samadhi, are they the same?
Yes, the fourth jhana is samadhi, and there are two types of samadhi, khanika and appana samadhi. Khanika means briefly. Khanika samadhi is a brief samadhi, while appana samadhi is of longer duration.
And the last question for this evening so far is from Adele Woon. There is body and mind. When the mind is agitated and has expectation, Ajahn said to teach the mind not to be agitated or have expectation. How do we teach the mind?
But to see that you cannot expect things all the time, because things are not always under your expectation. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't get it. This is the nature of things. We call it anicca, impermanent. Anatta, not always under your control. So you have to see things as anicca, anatta. Then you know that it's not possible to expect. Like the weather. See, I always use the weather as an example. People and things are like weather. You don't expect much from the weather, right? Because you know there's nothing you can do about the weather. You just have to take them when they come. So you should look at people and things just like the weather. Just take them as they come. Then you will have no stress.
That's it for this evening.
Okay, that's all for question from Facebook. Okay, we'll go to the second round of questioning. If anybody, okay, Jason Ong, you raise your hand first. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Sorry, Ajahn, I forgot to ask you, what should I do for the energy that goes around my body after the 3 days coming out from the meditation? I feel it like going through the body for
just
3 days.
Just be aware. Just know that it is like this, and say it's anicca. Sooner or later, it will then disappear.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, just don't try to get rid of it, or don't try to manage it. Just let it be. If it's there, let it be there. If it's gonna be gone, let it go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We have a new coming, Alexa Lua. Alex.
From the Netherlands, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, Alexa Ru.
Alexa Ru.
Hi, Alexa Ru. Unmute your microphone. From the Netherlands, Brazilian from the Netherlands.
Yeah. Nice to see you again. Yesterday I was in the Shan ground. Was goodbye for my neighbor's mother. was together. And afterwards, I went to this. Yeah, it was nice to see that everybody suffered. I mean, nice to feel it when we suffer together.
Can you speak louder or closer to your microphone? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, better.
So like that may be better.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. It was nice experience to see the body in the keys in the box, and also to share the moment with everybody, that people who I don't know, but we suffer all together. I feel the same as they feel, more or less, and that was good experience. And after it, I went to a cemetery, look for the grave of my friend of me, also with the intention to look for a place for me to meditate at night. Although they have secured it, it's very big cemetery, very huge, Western cemetery, though, so they have only marmor, lay marmor, not sculptures and things like that. But it's very huge, but I think the security would not like to see me there. But I find places that I can hide myself during the day because it's very huge. Would you think it's a break in precept if I hide myself in a tree or somewhere, and then I sleep there to make my exercise?
Well, you're not stealing anything, so I don't think you're breaking any precept.
They don't see me, so it's not.
You don't steal anything from the cemetery, right? You just go there to meditate.
Yeah. Another question is it's not so far from my house. I used to live always around cemeteries. I grew up around cemeteries, but in Brazil they're very dangerous. Criminals do business inside. But here it's peaceful, and so it's okay if I do just sleep there during the day. I come at home to make my meal, that I don't need to bring there all the camping stuff, you know, or I have to bring dry food. Also, I can do that, just like a ninja, you know, and stay in the tree. Or what do you advise me? Just the night?
Yeah, it's better to go for the night. You know, after you finish, when it's night, you just go there and just to meditate until morning. Because at night it's more scary. It forces you to be more mindful. Because you will have all sorts of thoughts coming up, and then you need a lot of mindfulness to stop them from coming up. If not, then you can go crazy with your thoughts.
Teacher, there is no pretension, but it's true. A very strong artwork I made was on a cemetery. So I slept in a cemetery for 1 week. I have pictures. Also, this work became a kind of famous worldwide artist circuit, famous, important, and because it's a scandal about bodies who was buried without nobody knows they were buried there. Then I made this candle above it with flowers and candles and very nice work. So I have to sleep there for a week. And was a place that even the people who work there, they hear noise, but can be the mind-made noise, because one says so, the other says so. So I slept already 1 week in a cemetery, so I'm not really afraid of it. And do you think it's useful still doing that?
Well, for meditation, yes, because you don't go to sleep. You want to go and meditate. Because when you're in cemetery, I guess unless you are used to it, but if you're not used to it, you'll be constantly alert, awake, and you don't feel sleepy.
I have my best friend there, so I'm gonna sit nearby him and by his.
You have to see what you get from going there and meditate, whether you get good result from your meditation or not. Or you find it the same language staying at home, then there's no use to go there.
Yeah. Must have some degree. Yeah, must have something. The reason I'm there, not just that we have to standard for monarchs or before monarchs to study, to go to cemetery. If those make sense, then I don't need to go there.
That's right. Okay.
And can I have one more question?
Yes. Please.
Okay. Aloka meditation, that you are at night, all night awake. That you imagine that's a day at night, but you keep imagining it's a day, and you don't sleep day and night.
Okay.
Are you aware about this, or don't know about this? Never heard about this? Or?
No, never heard of it. But there are monks who practices all in three postures: the standing, walking, and sitting, and not lying down for 24 hours or 48 hours, depending on whether he wants, how long he wants it to do. This is to discourage from spending the time sleeping, so you can then use the time for meditation.
Yeah, well, sometimes I do, but it's not very stable yet. But I have one more question about samadhi.
Yes.
I have the normal state. What's normal? But I mean, when I'm busy with my home things here, let's put it like this. And then when I sit and I focus, then there's another state, because I start to I still thinking, but I'm on the track of my breathing, and with attention on it. Sometimes it goes and come back, and I have another stage that I enter, and for that I can control. I start to control it, and that is another stage. I can feel it's like it's difficult to. I don't have a word to say, but I would like to know what it is. And I remember before the rapture, that was the way. Before the first time it happened, rapture, it happened before this stage. And for this stage, I can do any time I want. And yesterday I could control it. Then I said, oh, I have to control to stay on this stage. And yeah, I have to put some effort in it. I can take it. It was not more just come in and stay a little bit. I noticed I could control it and let it stay, but it's not rapture. Could you describe me what is going on?
It means your mind is still not calm enough. You have to keep focusing on your meditation object until you eventually reach emptiness. Whatever happens in between, it doesn't matter. They are temporarily, and they're not useful for your mind in terms of becoming enlightened. So don't worry about them. They are like a sideshow. Don't get involved with the sideshow. Go for the real thing. Just keep on focusing on your mindfulness, on your meditation object.
So this altered state is not a real something that I have to keeping on or something. Just to stop the thinking is the point.
That's right. To empty your mind, to make your mind peaceful, calm, and neutral. Merely knowing, without any reaction, without any emotional reaction, such as love, hate, fear, or delusion. That's where you want to go. And it will get you there by just keep focusing on your meditation object. Other things, they're just like sideshows. Don't pay attention to them. You want to go to the main show, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And anywhere that I should first not always looking for silence, but I should have learned to be wherever it is, where noise it is. I better get used to any condition, right?
Yes, just ignore them. Just ignore them and just stay focused on your meditation object.
Because to find the real peace in the city, it's hard. And when you try to go somewhere else, maybe you disturb somebody else because they will ask what this guy is doing here alone. You know, you disturb and then they disturb you.
So especially in your room is the best place for you to find peace.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes, all right.
Okay, nice talking to you. Anybody?
Without coffee better, huh? Without coffee is better, huh? I'm more calm without coffee.
That's right. No, nothing to stimulate your mind.
Not
body.
anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Just drink water, and pure water is the best for your body and your mind.
Yes, I have to clean my mind as clean the water. There is no clean water in the world. We have to clean it. Everywhere, all the water we see is the sea water is with something. So we have to clean it in laboratory. It's the same. We have to clean our minds. That's what
right.
I realize.
Purify the mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to ask any question? Please raise your hand and unmute your microphone. Nobody? Okay, Sri and check.
Ajahn, may I just clarify with you? You just mentioned to Alaksaru that you merely knowing without the emotion, love, hate, fear, and delusion. I understand the love, hate, fear. The delusion. What kind of emotion is that?
It's seeing things not clearly as they should be. Seeing anicca, seeing anicca as nijja, seeing things that is anicca as nijja, seeing things as see anatta as atta, for instance, see yourself, and this is a delusion.
It's a kind of emotion, Ajahn?
Yeah, your reaction when you see a body, you see it as a self. It's not. When your mind is neutral, you don't see it as a self. You're just merely seeing it as an object.
Oh.
No reaction.
Mm-hmm. So if we attach to somebody, that means we don't see them as
Anatta. You see it as a self. You still see it with delusion. See? But with Ubeka, you just see them as a body, not as a person, as a self, or as a brother or sister or father or mother.
But that has to get to Apana Samadhi.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't react to your body once you get into Apana Samadhi. You have equanimity. You leave your body alone.
Yeah.
Well, you have to experience it to really understand it. Right now, it's just imagining it. So don't worry. Just get there. Once you get there, seeing is believing. You know.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody got any question? Okay, it means everybody has asked what they want to know for today. And I think it's probably a good time for us to call this meeting to an end. Thank you very much for your participation. I hope this meeting will assist and benefit you in your practice. In the meantime, please stay healthy, stay safe, mindful, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ajahn.
Thank you,
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, admin.
Thank you, admin.